Well, surprise, surprise, surprise. We have a fresh new #1 on top of our ASN College Hockey Elite 8. Minnesota Duluth back on top, followed by Boston University, Denver at #3. Last week's #1 Penn State is now at #4, followed by Minnesota, Union, Western Michigan, and one of my faves, Cornell. Welcome to College Hockey Now. I'm John Evanson. This is former Stony Brook goalie Brendan Jones. We call him the know-it-all around here, the hockey know-it-all. I mean that in a good way.
I appreciate that. Why is Cornell one of your faves? I'm a little curious.
I lived in Syracuse for 6 or 7 years, and I know it's an awesome place to play. The home games are incredible.
Yeah, line of rink, good.
The crowd's right on top of you.
Yeah, good atmosphere up there in Cornell.
Absolutely, and I love fan bases like that. Coming off a key 3-point weekend over St. Lawrence, a 10-1-1 record over its last 12 games. Cornell is hot. I'm saying the obvious.
And they have a huge goaltender in Mitch Gillen playing extremely well for them. One of the hottest teams in the ECAC. They also have big games coming up against Harvard and Union. This conference is anybody's, and they could run away with it if they just pick up some W's here.
So exciting this time of the year. Another team making huge strides is Western Michigan, sweeping Colorado College over the weekend. The same Colorado College who thrilled us a few weeks ago with big wins over Minnesota Duluth.
And don't look now, Western Michigan is 5th in the pairwise rankings. They're quietly one of the better teams in the NCHC, a completely different team than years ago. They are fast, they are heavy, they are tenacious. They do all the right things. Andy Murray has them doing whatever it takes to pick up wins.
Andy Murray, the chiseled veteran, the old NHL coach. So
Grizzly.
He'll Grizzly.
Yeah.
Chiseled,
grizzly vet.
He might be chiseled as well. Being swept in a weekend series is a horrible thing. You should know that as a goalie for Stony Brook. But for a team like North Dakota, they were swept by their biggest rival, Minnesota Duluth. Yep. That's got to hurt. I mean, where are they at? Where's their mindset this week at practice?
Well, that's the thing. They just haven't been consistently mentally focused night in and night out. I'm not really too thrilled with how Cam Johnson played as well in between the pipes for this Fighting Hawks team. But to be completely honest with you, this Bulldogs team was the better team both nights at the Ralph. They are deep. They are productive, whether it's their forwards, their defensemen. They have a goaltender, Hunter Miska, you can see right there, Stonewall in between the pipes. And I just got to tell you, I can't see this Duluth team not going far. I could see them going to the NCHC championship game. I can see them going deep into the NCAA tournament as well. They are a well-oiled machine.
Every season can't be perfect. They're actually swept in 4 games by Minnesota Duluth. So it's the one thing that went horribly wrong this year. Penn State proving once again how slippery a slope the college hockey rankings are, fitting for a sport on ice. Last week's #1 suffering critical shootout loss. Back at #4 this week. But, you were saying the top 10, you jockey around, so much talent. But what does Penn State got to do to bounce back?
They need to keep playing Penn State hockey, to keep shooting the puck and start getting some more puck luck. I guess this weekend they ran into an extremely hot goaltender in Christian Fry.
The crowds are so great, though. Look at that crowd.
They
at
sell
Penn
out
State.
every single game. They sell us over 6,000 people at Pagula. But like I said, Christian Fry, 97 saves on the weekend. And bad news for Penn State, Ohio State didn't have arguably their 2 best players in Nick Schilke and Tanner Lazinski. Mason Jobst stepped up, did a big job for the Buckeyes there, putting some points home, banging in some goals as well for the Buckeyes. So big things for there. This is the first time Penn State is facing some adversity. They really ran through most of their schedule earlier in the year. People were giving them a hard time because it wasn't necessarily the toughest schedule. So now this is where we find out what Penn State's made of.
Hockey, one of those sports, it's tough to stay consistent the entire year in this sport. I mean, you're banged around, and Boston University, a perfect example. I mean, they came out of, half their team basically played for Team USA, won gold at the World Juniors, and they came back. You could see the momentum. They were winning, 8-game winning streak. It's done now.
Yep.
Minor hiccup?
Minor hiccup against Merrimack earlier in the week, but this is a Merrimack team that was the better team. They dominated against Maine. You could tell their confidence was high. They were riding a high. And then they went to Merrimack, a smaller rink, and they just got stalwarted. The neutral zone, nothing was open. There was no time or space out there. Merrimack played great, but this Terriers squad is going to bounce back. They always do. And somebody I just want to highlight, JFK, Jacob Forsbacka-Karlsson, has been so consistent for this team. When all those guys went to go play for their respective countries in the World Juniors, he was back, did not go play for his respective country in Sweden, and he really carried the Terriers, carried this offense. He's so valuable to this team. He plays in every situation. He wins faceoffs. You never need to worry about him off the ice as well. Coach Quinn says he's a real glue guy for the Terriers.
I don't know what I like better, the short JFK version of his name or his full name. They're both awesome.
Forsbacka-Karlsson wins every time.
One of the most entertaining and tough-edged games over the weekend was that Saturday night battle in Pittsburgh between Robert Morris and Air Force. As even Steven as you can get, a fight to the end, ultimately a 2-1 win for Robert Morris on Saturday. But a well-earned split, I would have to say, for both teams, right?
This was the series if you are watching Atlantic hockey. Then, and kudos to Air Force. They held atop that first place ranking in the conference. This was a goaltender's battle.
Yeah.
You had Shane Starrett on one side, and then you had Francis Marot on the other side. Marot actually got chased that first game. Yeah, he let in, I think it was 3 goals on 12 shots, and then he came back the next day, really bounced back well, showed great consistency, great resiliency, I should say, for this Robert Morris team. These are the 2 top dogs in Atlantic hockey. It was a good precursor to what we'll probably see in the conference tournament.
As a former goalie, like, how much does that motivate you to look at the other end and see the other guy like standing on his head? I mean, it makes you want to one-up him every time.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely. And this Air Force team very deep as well. 11 players in double-digit points. So this Air Force team knows how to score goals. They're tough. They're gonna get after you for sure.
We were talking up the Minnesota Golden Gophers last week, and for good reason. Their longest winning streak since 2006-2007 has come to an end, though. Wisconsin, I mean, their biggest rival, it hurts, but you got to expect maybe that's a team that could come out on top.
Yep, and this is a Wisconsin team that's playing with house money. They have nothing to lose. This was a border battle of old, as everybody was calling it. It was reminiscent of the old days between the Gophers and the Badgers. But I really was impressed with this Wisconsin team. You had guys like Luke Cunnin and Trent Frederick back in the lineup, producing points. But then you look at Minnesota, too. They didn't have their guy either, Tommy Novak, who was out with an injury, and they stepped up. You had Justin Kluse, who played well. Smatsula stepped up, played well. They just had some mental breakdown in that loss to the Badgers.
Thank you for watching all these games for us, Jonesy. That was a good breakdown. But we haven't even touched on Jonesy's very favorite team, Vermont. In case you haven't been watching, Brendan will thoroughly explain how they've completely revamped their style of play coming up. Plus, Neal Goff is much more than just a solid blue liner for Western Michigan. He's getting the word out about a disease that affects young children, including one very special fan. More on that coming up. Western Michigan's success this season has a lot to do with their vocal leader defenseman Neal Goff. But off the ice, his natural leadership skills are helping a little girl gain confidence and help fight a life-impacting disease.
With the Western Michigan Broncos off to their best start in 4 years, a lot of the credit can be given to WMU's high-scoring offense. But on the back end, it's a steady defenseman in Neal Goff. He may not make a lot of noise on the score sheet, but the Bronco family hears plenty of chatter from the junior.
He's a guy that's got some energy. He likes to talk in the dressing room, and he has the ability to inspire others.
It's that similar outgoing personality that Goff saw in Audrey Nethery, a 7-year-old from Louisville, Kentucky. You may have seen Audrey's videos on the internet, singing, dancing, and even making an appearance on the Rachel Ray Show.
We see almost every post that she shares, and we usually share them as well, just to not only share Audrey with everyone so everyone can see what a special little girl she is, but also just bring awareness to DBA.
DBA stands for Diamond Black Fan Anemia, a failure of the bone marrow that is usually detected in kids under the age of 2. Audrey has taken her diagnosis and run with it, attracting millions of followers and helping to spread attention to the disorder. Neal and his family have been following Audrey since he was in juniors, and now they're hoping she can make it to a Broncos game.
I think Nebraska-Omaha would be the closest for them, so close to the day when we travel down there, I think we're going to get in touch and try to work something out.
Even with the distance, Neal still finds ways to stay in touch with Audrey, especially if it means supporting her new favorite activity.
I sent her a little cheerleading outfit. She just got into cheerleading, and a letter, and her dad and I have been messaging back and forth here and there.
That desire to help others is something head coach Andy Murray encourages in all of his players. and it's now a big part of being a Western Michigan student athlete.
Certainly Neal has got a special thing going right now with a young lady, and that's great to see. But we really encourage our players to just show how good they feel about their situation by helping others.
I mean, this started with me doing something as simple as writing her name on my stick. I mean, that's nothing. That's the least I could do. And she gives me so much more back. We're really privileged, and that comes with the responsibility, and it's important to us. Makes us feel good.
What a fantastic story, and welcome back. You're back just in time for B's Breakdown. I've been looking forward to this, Jonesy, because behind the scenes, even more than on the air, what you see, this guy talks up Vermont.
Big fan.
He's been doing it all year, and I kind of get why now. I mean, especially this season, they've completely changed their playing style, and man, is it working.
Yeah, completely new identity. Spoke to Kevin Sneddon before the season, told me they were changing it. Then I started to see it after I spoke to Coach Wallach before we had him on our air just a few weeks ago. I want to show you guys just exactly what I'm talking about. They're built around tenacity, hard work, grit, work ethic. You see Ross Colton get in on the forecheck, puck goes up the wall, where he forces it, catches his man, and causes a turnover. Forces the turnover, and it leads to a goal. This is what Vermont does. They are relentless on the forecheck. Look, he's behind him, well behind him. Watch, gets down on his knees, causes the turnover right on Paskarich's stick, and it goes in the back of the net.
Avoids the hook.
All because of the hard work, the tenaciousness of this Vermont team. You look at Colton. Look, forces the puck up the wall, gets back, physical with his man. They are now a different team, not so reliant on that skill. Puck winds up in the back of the net. Then we're going to see some 200-foot game stuff. You see Vermont goes into the zone. They turn the puck over. Look at that. 2 white jerseys behind 3 UConn players. Right now, UConn has numbers. They're about 5 steps behind them. If UConn hurries, it could be a 3-on-2. Watch Vermont get back. All 4 white jerseys get back.
Clogs it right up.
Clogs up the center of the ice. Lee goes to his man, and then you see Privitera, last man back, right to the middle of the ice, doing great things for this Vermont team, and then they get the puck out. So that is what they do defensively. Then we're going to stay with Colton again. Look how tenacious he is. Look how he's just on the puck. Doesn't give him any time or space, and it leads to another goal. Right here, we're going to see Colton take away the D-to-D pass. The pass is not there. The defenseman is forced to make a blind pass up the wall. Forecheck, unbelievable by Colton, and then you see the space by Jared Privitera separating himself from the defenseman, and it winds up in the back of the net. This is not what the Vermont team was about last year. This year, they are.
Well, you've convinced me. That is fantastic. They don't ever give up on a play. Another great doubleheader on ASN this Friday night. UMass coming off a lopsided loss to Boston College. Pivotal game in the standings. Bowling Green and Ferris. We'll tee them all up coming up. I'll thank you in advance for spending Friday night with us. We have another doubleheader, 6 p.m. Northeastern and UMass Lowell, followed by Bowling Green and Ferris State. I can't wait. Northeastern in the first game coming off their first sweep of the season over Merrimack. How do you see Lowell responding here?
Lowell is the model of consistency in Hockey East, a very good team. Spoke to Jim Madigan earlier this week. He said he loves playing Lowell because it makes his team better. If you are not paying attention to detail, if you aren't in good habits, this Lowell team will make you pay. Northeastern, one of the best forwards in the country as well, Zach Aston Reese, tied for the lead in points. That's the entire country, John.
Yeah.
This team just needs to be a little bit better in their defensive zone. And then maybe they'll make a run like they did last year. They're struggling through injury right now. So everybody is getting back almost 100%. Then we'll see the Huskies of old.
These 2 players make their teams way better. Zach Aston Reese and CJ Smith. Here's how you compare the 2 numbers-wise.
Look at some of these advanced numbers. The share of team offense. Now, I said that Zach Aston Reese was one of the best players in the country, up there in points, tied for first in the entire nation. 49% of Northeastern's offense goes through Zach Aston Reese, and he is a workhorse. He's tenacious. When I spoke to Madigan, he told me he is the perfect blend of IQ, skill, work ethic. He is your picture-perfect college hockey player. That's why he's going to be one of the most sought-out college hockey free agents come the end of the season.
I don't think I've seen a bar go that high this year.
Yeah, watch out.
We almost ran out of blue computer ink.
Yeah, exactly.
The late game will be Bowling Green taking on Ferris State, the first game of a pivotal league series. The experts, besides you, there's other experts out there.
Oh, are there?
I don't know if they're as good, but they say this should be a heck of a game.
If you watch our two teams played in the past, just since I even played, we're very similar in our styles. It's hard-nosed, it's physical, it's going to be a little dirty at times, but I think our guys will be up to the task. Especially we just got to make sure we stay, disciplined is the main thing, and play sound in our own zone and work our way out from there.
And this is going to be quite the rivalry game. I'm looking forward to this one. How about you?
Oh, always. When these two teams meet, it's going to be physical. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a low-scoring affair. You have some good goaltenders going in this one. Ferris State has a great duo with Kapellmeister and Smith back there. And then you have Nell and Bednard. Doesn't matter who plays in between the pipes. It's going to be a good game. This is actually a very big game in terms of standings as well. Both these teams are right next to each other. Ferris looking to get on the heels of this Falcons team in the WCHA. So there is a lot riding on this one.
Sounds cliche, but I have a feeling this is going to be a full team effort from both sides. But we got to break down the two players who you think will make the biggest impact right here. Gerald and Mitch. Love those guys.
Gerald Mayhew is one of the best players in the WCHA, has arguably the most talent, skill in the WCHA for the Ferris State Bulldogs. And then you look at Bowling Green. Mitch McLean leads them in points. You can see both of them. A large portion of offense goes through these two gentlemen. They both shoot the puck at the same rate. Two very good players. You have to look out for both of them and know where they are on the ice every single shift. They can make something happen in the blink of an eye.
All right, well, we don't just have two games for you this weekend. How about Saturday night? Oh, it's just getting better every time. North Dakota taking on Colorado College. Two teams, very good, but they're both coming off tough weekends, so they'll be ready to go.
Yes, both teams need a sweep, to be completely honest with you. You look at Colorado College, just got swept by Western Michigan. We spoke about them earlier, very good team. This CC team needs to compete with this North Dakota squad. That is exactly what Mike Havlin preaches, compete level. Get after them early and often. Then you look at the North Dakota Fighting Hawks. They have to come back mentally strong and play that full 60 minutes. This is a big ice sheet in Colorado Springs. There will be time, there will be space. They have to take advantage of that. And like I said, Cam Johnson needs to just be a little bit better. He needs to be the backbone of the Fighting Hawks.
All right, the spark plugs right here in front of you. We watched Mason Burke the other day.
Great word usage there. Spark plugs for sure. Shane Gershik has been underrated in my eyes. One of the best UND players on the squad this year, leads them in points. Mason Berg has been the guy for Colorado College as well. He's really a good leader for this Tigers team. Shane Gershik, a ton of skill, arguably the biggest and most complete player on this North Dakota team.
You sifted through just hours upon hours of highlights, I know, for our top 8 this week, our top 8 plays.
Oh, yeah.
There's tons of film all over the ground by your office. You still use film, right?
We got some good ones.
Yeah, we got some good ones coming up, so you're going to want to stick around. The top 8 plays. Here's one. This is what they call a tease. We'll join you coming up. It's the best time of the week, ASN's Top 8. North Dakota's Tyson Jost on the hunt, walks in and snipes Hunter Miska.
Maybe a little more aggressiveness from the Bulldogs here.
Quick stick.
Way too much time, way too much space. One of the best young players in the country just whistles it by Miska's ear.
Took off their jock straps with that stick work. Bentley's Kyle Schmidt with the deflection in front. It's always good to have a handy deflection.
Love the grittiness of the Bentley squad. We had them on our air. They played well against the Pioneers.
WMU Sheldon Dries. He's going top shelf where the money is kept.
Forehand, backhand, classic breakaway move. Bar down, a little flare, and then I love the celly as always.
Blowing us kisses?
Hope not.
Vermont's Mario Pascarich to Matt Alvaro in front. You know where he's going. Oh, he was almost hooked too.
And if you take another look, watch the water bottle fall off the top of the net. Never a good thing if you're a goaltender. Yup, right off. It's a little embarrassing, but a
water bottle abuse.
Exactly.
It's a good thing.
Great effort by the Catamounts all weekend.
Northeastern's Adam Godzaddy's gonna bat it out of midair and to twine. It's
What?
like you used to play stickball as a kid.
Or baseball.
Sure. But this is 1922.
Exactly. This is baseball, or the best version of baseball for a hockey player.
And Kenesha says Felix Chamberlain, he got into the bat it out of midair trend that's sweeping the nation. His, though, ooh, on the backhand.
And that's why he is number 3 and not number 4, because this degree of difficulty is through the roof. So I'm really curious to see 2 and 1, because that was unbelievable.
You saying batted out of the air moves can't be number 1 or number 2? Bemidji's Jerry Fitzgerald beats the D-man, and turns out he's the man.
Sure. Love it.
And number 1, Minnesota Duluth's Adam Johnson, end to end. Look at this. Mike, it's like Frogger in fast motion. Beats Cam Johnson.
Starts behind his own net, winds up behind the opposing team's net, and the puck winds up in the back of the net. Known for his speed, but dang, he can finish as well.
If that had been Guy Lafleur back in the day, his hair would have been flowing. It would have just, that's the only thing that may have looked even more awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Out of all our games, 3 of them, which one are you most looking forward to here on ASN?
I want to see how North Dakota responds and bounces back, but I also am very intrigued by the WCHA game because that is a very important game in terms of conference standings. What about you?
You didn't nail it down.
No.
You didn't
I
nail
can't.
it
Too
right down.
wishy-washy.
The Saturday game, I think, is the most exciting one from my viewpoint. And you can check out this full schedule, not only for this weekend, Friday and Saturday, but you can also stream the games at AmericanSportsNet.com. If you want to do that, you can watch yourself.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
I'm in. I'll see you there.
We'll see you next week on College Hockey Now.